ask me. Ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. I got a spray tan last week.
I swear we kicked off 2 episodes ago with spray tan. Please continue, but I like that this is...
I get a lot of them and I
on.
take really good care of them, meaning like I don't shower a ton, and the woman who does my spray tans is so incredible. And yes, I went to Florida, but like in my life, it's never been like, wow, sun-kissed. But today at drop-off, one of the teachers who is Latin was like, nice tan. And I was like, it's fake, thanks. My husband asked me to do one thing, which was, can you drive the kids to school? Because I'm going to go to the farmer's market. Why? For something selfish, like an Xbox competition? No, it's to get food for our family. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And by no problem, I meant because you'll get up with them because you're up anyway at like 5 a.m. And you're up when they get up at like 6:30 and you always feed them breakfast. And I just wake up naturally, or you'll come get me when you're going to the farmer's market. So I didn't set an alarm or anything. And I naturally at like 7:45 kind of cracked my eyes open. I was like, why is the house so quiet? And then, because we have to leave at 8:20. And I was like, oh, and Sierra's sleeping. Ethan is fully out of his crib, just like sitting in a puddle of his own urine, playing with trucks. I was like, I have to go. Everybody get up. My kids usually eat like a full English breakfast. Today, they got several scoops of yogurt and some frozen pita that I heated up in the toaster.
Yum.
And Jeep gave me a Jeep from our first car commercial.
What?
And it was a hybrid plug-in, and they have discontinued the hybrid plug-in, so they had to take it back. So today my new Jeep came, which is a Jeep Cherokee. And so I let Ethan eat his pita in the car on the way to school because I was giving the car back. I was like, you know what? I'm usually pretty religious about this, but if you get crumbs, so what? They're taking this one back. So the new car came today. That was my morning.
You never told me that they gave you a car.
I don't think it's supposed to be a secret. I was like, this is a great car. And they were like, would you like one? No, I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
That's very good marketing because it's like you want
can't have me
your
driving
spokesperson
a Kia.
to you. Yeah, like that's
And I'm an evangelist for it. I loved my Grand Cherokee that I had, and I'm sure I'll love this one, but they let me pick it out. The Grand Wagoneer, I know so much about it. It's just too big for my garage, so I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But people stop me. Men stop me. They're like, what is that car? I'm like, let me show you this Macintosh sound system.
You're up for a Shorty Award for the Jeep ad and another one for the Bliss campaign you did.
Doesn't that seem odd? Because the Bliss campaign was like a long time ago.
So I now am at a company that gets these kinds of awards. So the run times of like when you submit them is very long. It
seems like a scam. But vote for me. Vote for me.
Also, the ad, super producer Glenn clocked it in theaters, your latest Jeep ad, which I want to see the ad in theaters so bad.
You just got to see more movies, get out in the world. That was cool. More than one person sent me a picture of that ad running at like an IMAX or a theater. And then people sent it to me from March Madness, which I think is the best thing to have advertised on. All very exciting. I know we're not really supposed to plug products that we read for outside of the read.
Yeah.
But I will say Grunes, that like Scandi green gummy bear company that has all of your like superfoods and greens and everything. At first, I was like, yeah, it seems like a cool thing to read for. I don't need it. You know, I'm pretty picky about like if I take a powder or a supplement. But then they sent the read and I was like, I really do have to try this because you're marketing it like something that you kind of snack on, whatever. They're so tasty. And once I looked at the label and I saw like just how much is packed in these things, and I like how they're like, look, it's not going to come in one gummy. So they're like, it's a feature, not a bug. They're like, you need a few of them, so snack on them. And I mean, I've only been eating for 2 days. I can't tell you, like, I feel incredible, but I do feel good and I really do like eating them.
That's
They're
fun.
Scrumptious. That's
really fun. I like you've been getting new ads and we love our stalwart supporters, but it is nice that other people are also like, hey, because you are very selective and you are very careful about what you agree to promote.
Yeah, if I promote it, I think about like, is this something that if I were someone who'd need, like, would I use it? Like versus like just reading for anything. There are plenty of things that I don't read for, which definitely could have paid me money. Like I do have article furniture and I do have bowl and branch sheets and I do like runes and I do like Kachava shakes.
I know.
So, whatever. But I was going through that document and it's funny when sometimes I read the questions because I have to go through to be like, I'm not answering this. This is boring. This is like
But
from
to
a producer standpoint.
contextualize, you're looking at a document of questions for the show.
I'm so sorry. Yes. And this isn't to say that what you write in is bad, but we get a lot of questions and just because we don't read yours doesn't mean it was bad. It just may not fit with the flow.
Sometimes it's just similar to something that we've answered recently.
It could be that, but sometimes also, I just want you to know, I will read it, but sometimes I don't read the whole question and I kind of skip down to like get the vibe of it. So that is to say, a lot of the questions like had a good question vibe today. So I'm excited to answer these because we had some meaty ones per the document. And just in case you decide to clock out and not listen to our podcast, come see me at the Venetian May 1st, where I'll be doing crisp, crafted stand-up comedy. And then, per the flyer that I got roasted for that I posted on my Instagram, I will be DJing at Juliet. And if you show your ticket stub, it's like a buy one, get one drink thing. We implored them not to use the phrase BOGO. David Castaneda was like, this looks like a recital. And then, so I was like, does this look like a repass? And then I kind of realized I don't have enough Black listeners or followers for anyone to get that joke. A repass is kind of like a Black funeral, like a Black wake, I think. Yeah. And the only person who laughed was Tara, who is my tour manager, who used to be Snoop Dogg's tour manager. And she texted me, she's like, I'm dead. A repass. Or it looks like a quinceañera. But you know what? It doesn't fucking matter because I will be playing Gasolina and it will be En Fuego.
And it should be. This is how your first DJ flyer should be, you know?
Kind of
looking
tacky.
Like it was maybe also celebrating your life.
My life.
In memoriam.
It's a homecoming. So we'll see you then.
Yeah. And if you want to visit the Patreon, actually last week's, when you hear this, Patreon is kind of some insider tips on how to get your question answered. And the one before that is Iliza DJing. So, you know, some behind the scenes happening over there.
I also have a new project to promote.
Oh.
Did I tell you about my Sunday thing?
It's what Sunday thing?
I'll tell you. You know what? You're going to find out with everyone else at the end. That will be my top cob.
Okay.
Let's do it too. Oh, by the way, I just got back from, I played Radio City 2 nights ago.
By the way.
Which was great. And I was on the East Coast in the first place because I was going to my brother. I have a half brother and a half sister. You just say brother and sister. Let's go to my half brother's wedding.
Yeah, and I'd never seen a picture of him, and I was like, why don't I know about this?
Yeah, I
should know every relative of yours.
You've heard of him. But
I've heard the name.
When I was walking in, it was a really lovely wedding, and it was at someone's house in Boca Raton, which is so, like, if someone's like, you have to live there tomorrow, I'd be like, great. I'd be a little bored, but it'd be great. Everybody in Florida is either 90 or in, like, great shape. And like, it's not the kind of shape you see in LA. Like everyone's like a little jacked. Like I think everyone does some sort of like lotion muscle fat burner protein shake. Like everyone's just like a little Latin and a little shredded. Okay. Even the Jews. Everybody look great. Everybody's Latin. I walk in and I think she was the photographer or one of the friends of the bride. I don't think she knew I had a podcast. I don't know if she knew who I was. I think she knew who I was. But she started telling me she was like, that's so great that you brought your little girl. My kids aren't invited to my brother's wedding. And I was like, oh, yeah, I get that. She was like, but the other kids are. And I was like, well, maybe. And I kept trying to like figure out why. She was like, nope, it seems like it's just my kids. I go, I have a podcast that weirdly specializes in wedding drama if you'd like to write in. So who knows how drunk she got and forgot.
Talking to someone and they go, if you want to talk about this further, you can go ahead and email my producers.
We have office hours.
You don't give this advice out for free except for every week for a full hour.
Yeah. So shout out to Brad and Emily. Congratulations. And shout out to the really nice bartenders who very quickly ran out of sliced oranges because my daughter ate all of them.
You have too many Emilys in your life and I'm jealous.
Oh my God, you're right. The other two aren't really in my life. It's mostly you.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, now we can answer questions. Now that I've been pacified. And this one, it was labeled as urgent. It's slightly time sensitive. Hello, AIA crew, you've never let me down. And not sure if this is the type of question that has ever been addressed. Me and my husband have a couple that we are very good friends with that I used to work with. Our husbands game every week together, but me and wife bestie are low maintenance, long distance friends and don't talk every week like the boys. Last night, my husband calls me into the other room because bestie husband had some exciting news. She's pregnant. I was super excited, but told the guys I won't say anything until she tells me herself. Am I making the right move by waiting, or can I reach out? 2 things to note. We have a very no BS relationship, so it would be hard to pretend or not tell her that I didn't know when she did tell me, and I don't want to fault bestie's husbands either. So is there a fun way to let her know I know, or should I wait? Sophie from Michigan.
It's just weird that the husband was like, hey guys, and I know you're best friends, but don't tell her I told you. Are you sure it matters that you know?
I don't think it does. I don't think that he said that. I think she's just assuming that the woman would want to tell her. It's like, no, I think this was you being told.
Yeah, I think you should just pick up the phone, because it's like what she wants is the moment of being like, guess what? But I just can't imagine a world where anybody holds it against someone. She's like, I wanted to be the one to tell you, especially since it's no BS, especially since you guys are best friends, but like don't talk a ton. It doesn't seem like, it feels like it doesn't matter to her. And you're like holding all this. If you want to make it more of a moment, you could always send her a little like cute gift, like a cookie bouquet of like diapers or something, and be like, I'm so excited for you. That way, even if the husband told and it's his fault, like she at least is touched by the gift.
Yeah.
But this was a time sensitive one.
Yeah, I think she's just holding on to this. Like, do I tell her I know? Yeah, he told your husband and he didn't say it was a secret. So
yeah, you're putting yourself through a lot for nothing. Women have all these things like, it's going to be a moment. This is going to happen and this and this. It's just going to happen the way it happens. Call her. That being said, one of Noah's best friends, they're pregnant, but the girl did not reach out to me directly, which is totally fine because we're friends, but we're not like best friends. So I was just going to wait till I saw her to say something, but that's not my best friend. I think it's not a big deal.
No. Okay, we have another little shorty question, which is nice to layer in. Am I going to get fired for accidentally calling pancetta placenta during a virtual meeting? I am between 32 and 35, female. So 33 or 34. People like me at work, but I'm scared this is going to end up on my record somehow. I work in higher ed. For context, one of the higher ups was on the call, but I'm not sure if they noticed.
You're not going to get I picked this so I could be like, you're not going to get fired. Also, pick what age you are. Move on. Next question.
That is such a weird range. That's
usually it's like late 30s or early 40s. But also, why wouldn't you just say, are you afraid people are going to know? They're like, she said she's 33. We know it's Susan.
I know 4 different people that called a pancetta a placenta, and I need to figure out which one it is. One is 33.
Someone's listening. They're like, I did hear someone say pancetta was placenta, but they were 35. So it couldn't have been her.
It wasn't her. Okay, this one I like because they included text message screenshots, which sometimes, look, I don't want your whole life story history, but this does give us some color.
And I need to read. Oh, I did read them. Sorry. Yeah. I don't
You read them, and I'll read a couple excerpts because it gives us just some color. Because I think sometimes you're giving us a presentation of a question. When we see how you're actually talking to the person, now we know what's up. So, hi, Iliza and Emily. I have a friend situation. I'm not sure what I should do. I have a friend from the gym, a local gym where we do small group personal training, Antonia, in her early 50s. I am in my late 30s. We've been friends for a few years now and got really close hanging outside of the gym and whatnot. She calls me her best friend. Some context before I get into the conflict. I've been with my fiance since September 2024. She's been with her boyfriend, who she's not even attracted to, since January 2025. My fiance has 5 kids, ages 19 through 6 years old.
Wow. And
it's a spread.
Just to call it quits after 5 kids is so wild to me. Like, you know what? I guess I don't like this flavor.
Especially if you were together for 19 years for the 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend has 2 grown daughters, 26 and 24. Her boyfriend was going through a divorce with his kid's mom, and they told him they weren't ready to meet his new girlfriend. And then she had opportunities to meet his daughters, but she said she wasn't ready to meet them for some reason. My fiance is deployed with the Navy, and unfortunately his deployment has been extended a few times. And because of these extensions, we've had to miss events we had planned. One of these events was a Broadway show playing locally. I asked her if she would like to go to the show with me.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Can you read that part again? He's deployed and what?
My fiance is deployed with the Navy, and unfortunately his deployment has been extended a few times. And because of these extensions, we have had to miss events that we had planned. One of these events was a Broadway show playing locally. I asked her if she would like to go to the show with me a few weeks before the show when I found out my fiance would not be home in time. The show was on a Saturday, and on Wednesday she told me her boyfriend's kids are coming into town that weekend and asked what time the show was. I told her it was at 8 p.m. and she said she would have to miss the show because she was finally going to meet his kids. So Here's the conversation. I'm not reading the whole thing, but basically, this friend says, is the musical at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. on Saturday? Blank's daughters are coming into town for the weekend and want to have dinner with us Saturday evening. If it's 2, I can still go. Let me know. And our question asker says it's the 8 p.m., to which Antonio replies, I'm sorry, ... I really am sorry. They just let him know. He texts me here at work. I'm in the office today. And our question asker has like a spine and says, you're missing the point, like, because she gets all mad. You made a commitment to go with me because my fiance's deployed. It's rude and disrespectful to drop our plans because something else came along. Like, I'm thrilled you're finally meeting his daughters, but I'm sure his adult children would understand you have plans already. You can easily tell them, let's meet at 5 p.m. because I have plans at 8 p.m. with a friend, but you're clearly not willing to do that. Shows your priorities. Hope you guys have a nice meeting. To which Antonia says, I'm sorry you feel this way. In no way am I ever rude and disrespectful. I've always been there for you. This is one instance I can't make it. Our question asker says, well, you're being very rude and disrespectful. I've always been there for you as well. And you can make it. You're just choosing not to, which is very hurtful and upsetting. And then my thoughts and prayers are with blank, which at a later date. So
that's because she's in her 50s. That's fine.
Yes.
That's what we can't find.
So our question asker pushed back. So going back to the question, Antonia has just been like, no, I have to. The adult kids said jump, and I said how high. So
it's
I
interesting.
am upset.
Well, good.
So our question asker continues. I'm upset she didn't tell her boyfriend that his adult children could meet her before the show. They're not kids and can't understand his girlfriend already had plans. If we just had dinner plans, I would not be upset. But these were paid tickets, and she agreed to go with me and pay for the ticket. She basically looked at her calendar, saw we had a show to go to, and thought, I can miss that. No big deal. So disrespectful. After this happened, she started going to the gym in the morning instead of the afternoon, the time we always go, which was suspicious. We hadn't seen each other in a few weeks since this incident. When we were finally at the gym together, she wouldn't even look at me or talk to me. I was planning on just going with the flow, continuing to be friends with her, but know that she's this type of friend. So now my question is, do I just let this friendship go, or do I ask to talk with her? I don't think she'll understand that she's in the wrong for ditching me. It just feels awkward in our gym seeing each other and not interacting. Curious your thoughts. Any chance you could come to Virginia Beach? The closest you come to me is DC.
No. So there's a couple things here. First of all, you don't respect her relationship. And I'm reading. You're ultimately right, but I will say at the beginning, you're like, there's a couple things we've had to cancel because of his deployment. Now, when you say we, do you mean you and him had tickets you had to cancel because of his deployment?
Yes.
My question is, are there things where your relationship has come first with her and your relationship with where your relationship with your fiance has come first and you're like, whatever, you're in your 50s and you don't even like this guy? Like, has it always been even? Has it always been you make plans, you show up? Is it a gym friendship and you took it out into the real world and this was what she did? Do you actually really know this person? Or is this friendship based on the fact that you go to the gym at the same time? Let's say everything's even and everything's fine and you've been friends and you're out in the world and she did this. You are right. Those are grown children who absolutely, it's not like that's going to be their stepmom. You can meet them, whatever. Also, it's dinner. Dinner is done at 7 at the latest. You are judging her relationship. You're saying she's not even attracted to him, which means she has badmouthed her relationship to you.
Mm-hmm.
But at her age, she's with someone. She's been with them a little bit. I think she probably felt unsure about the relationship. And now that next step is getting taken and she doesn't want to get left behind. So she prioritized her personal relationship over seeing a musical with you. And I'm not saying that it's right, but I understand her being like, I want to be with someone. Your thing is, I bought these tickets. So who's going to pay for this other ticket? Would this have been different if she was like, I'm sending you the money. I'm sorry. I need to do this.
I think I'd also, if I putting myself in her shoes as someone who gets very annoyed with my friends, she knew a few weeks ago that her husband couldn't go. This is an event that she's excited for. It's a musical. It's like she could have asked someone else last minute. Like now it's like she has to go alone and then not talk to anyone after.
It is a Wednesday. You do have a few days, but ultimately you are right. That is a shitty thing to do to a friend. It just is, also considering that she could have done both.
She could have.
She's thinking, I'll meet him. And if anything, I would be like, I'll meet you guys for dinner. And then why don't you spend some time with your dad?
Yeah, or even grab a drink together. And I think that would also annoy her, because it would annoy me, our question asker, is she, at first, they didn't want to meet the friend. Then they were like, okay, let's meet. And the friend said, no, I'm not ready. Right? So Antonia said, I'm not ready. But now this time they said, we want to meet. And Antonia goes, oh, okay, screw our question
You don't know
asker.
that. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that she wasn't ready. I don't know if she did it as retribution. I don't know the daughters. It seems like Antonia has like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And because this guy maybe isn't all in, but now that he's showing he maybe is all in, she's like, okay, I'm ready. But she was probably like protecting herself. All of this is almost irrelevant because the fact is she made a concrete plan with you. You're saying he's deployed. You're probably taking care of his kids. This is something you were really looking forward to fucking doing as a mother and to have some time. And then she just blew it off for absolutely no reason. You can't fix that. And you can't change the fact that she probably is a flake and will do this again. But what you can do is make sure that there's nothing left. Like you can call her and be like, hey, I just wanted to meet up. I just wanted to tell you my side. And there is a by the way, over text, especially, no offense, like she's older than you. These things are they're going to sound weird over text. Meet up with her, be like, I'd love to talk. I think you're making her out to be a bigger villain than she is. Face to face, she might be like, I'm really sorry. I really wanted to see him and I wanted to go home with him. And I think there's more complexity to her relationship with this man than maybe you're being let in on. What you're looking for is an apology and kind of an assurance that she'll never do it again. And you're not going to get that. But, and I always say this in my seminars, at least you will have been heard. Because right now what you're carrying around is like, was I understood? Did she hear what I said? And now we're not talking to each other. At the very least, you can speak, you can say your piece, and then you'll know what you're dealing with. But right now, it's just like shreds of emotion spread out over text. And she's probably like a little embarrassed or hurt. But I think at least if you say it, then you can control the tone.
Say it so that you don't have her in the gym sulking and glaring at you from a corner. Also, I have to plug Iliza, one of your projects, because you were just talking about a seminar. It made me think of the Iliza Schlesinger's sketch show, which Netflix just posted about because it's streaming and they were promoting that it's streaming. Like,
it's so random. Sure. Yeah. Watch the Iliza Schlesinger sketch show. I was really proud of it.
I love that show so much.
I'm weird and we made something weird and the world wasn't ready for it, but it's still there. So anytime you want to go watch it.
If you like, I think you should leave. Go watch the Iliza Schlesinger sketch show.
All right.
Hi, Iliza. I want to ask for some advice. For some context, I'm around 15 and I recently-ish broke up with my first boyfriend. We had met around 3 years ago, so when they were 12, and we're really good friends. We dated for around 6 months. I broke up with him because I lost feelings after a while.
Little dates.
Mom driving you to the movies. Oh, what a good day. After a party, I got told by one of my close friends that they saw him sobbing during the party. I felt horrible because I kind of know it's likely from the breakup. I think it hit him pretty hard. We're still luckily.
What if it's not, though? You're like, oh my God, is it me? He's like, no, I hit my foot.
We're still luckily very good friends. And it only took a few weeks before we were chatting like we were before we dated. So the crying makes me confused and worried. He's still my friend and I care about him a lot, even if he's my ex. I don't know if I should ask him though and bring up semi-uncomfortable memories for him and me, or if I should just leave it be. I know his other friends don't really comfort him. They're more about the lighthearted guy kind of talking it out, as most of the boys my age are. I'm worried that because of that, though, he won't be very supported. Essentially, I'm asking if I should help support him or if it's not my place. Please let me know your thoughts. I'm a huge fan.
I broke up with someone who turned out to be an absolute psychopath when I was in college. And I remember being on the phone with him over and over and over, supporting him as he complained about our breakup that I did. That is very sweet. You're not going to get back with him. And the fact that you're like, I really like him as a friend, time will tell if you are meant to be friends or if he's just the most recent guy that you were attached to. Men have a way of comforting each other. He might be like a sweet soul. You know, you don't want to check in on him and be like, I heard you were crying. I think there's part of you that wants to know, that's kind of hoping it was about you. And that is, I'm just letting you know, that's okay. That is an inherently human and female desire to be like, was it about me? You're not taking him back. The kindest thing you can do is give him distance. Because boys are like this and he will take it as a sign that, oh, you do care about me, therefore you're interested. You can be nice to him. You see him at school. You can say hi. It's not like his dad died. It's not like his parents are getting divorced. It's a breakup and it hurts and your first breakup sucked, but it's not your place now to be there for him in that way.
I think you're already doing what you can do, which is you said you're friends. You said you guys are kind of getting back to how you were before. If he wants to talk to you, I think you as a good friend, he'll know he can talk to you. And maybe he doesn't want to talk to you about this. It's so, again, like Iliza said, it's so sweet that you want to do this. You don't need to. You're there for him as a friend. If he wants to bring something specific to you, he can. But you're totally good. And you're so emotionally mature, by the way. She's like, I lost feelings. I broke up. We have so many people right in there like, I'm married to a rock on a stick and I don't want to leave him. And this person's like,
good,
you know what? 6 months, I'm good.
That's great. You don't need to be with that person. And also, like, let's play out this scenario. You reach out. You go out of your way to reach out to him. Hey, I heard you were crying. Yeah, I just miss you so much. Then what do you say?
Like,
yeah, sucks. Peace out. Like, you're not going to get back with him. So just giving him space. Hey, were you crying? Is it about me?
I would love to hear someone was crying about me. There's no world in which you hear that and go, oh no. I mean, you say, oh no, but there's no world in which you take on that sadness. You just go,
I love it. You don't care. You might care about him insofar as you don't want him to hurt, but give him his space. It's the best thing for him to heal.
Yes. AIA and Patreon crew, I need your wise counsel. My oldest child's doing great in high school, A and B plus range, but he has no clue what he wants to do. And I'm cool with that. He's 15. The problem? My mom friend group. Everyone is a tiger mom. It's just a lot. Every time we hang out, someone's talking about Ivy campus visits, SAT scores, or whose kid got into whatever program. Look, I'm genuinely happy for them. I get it. But the college thing now is insane. It's like twice the cost from when I went, twice as selective. And there's just this constant pressure that if your kid isn't on that track by sophomore year, something's wrong. I guess I just see it differently. Our neighborhood in New York City is full of people who went to these amazing schools and they're doing totally different stuff now. Some of them are stay-at-home parents. Some completely change careers. We all end up doing what we do anyway. So I need to know, how do I celebrate their wins without letting it mess with my head? How do I gracefully change the subject without being weird about it? Because there are good schools out there for kids who are still figuring stuff out. And I don't want my son thinking he's failing because he doesn't have a 5-year plan at 15. I've been cheering their kids on from the sidelines, but in these cases, it's really the moms looking for the accolades. The moms living vicariously through their kids and putting in the extra time and money for tutors, etc. Thank you guys for your insights.
Well, if this really is about like, how do I not let this take away my happiness? You're just going to have to be so steadfast in the way that you believe. And it sounds like it's seeping in. It sounds like it's making you feel insecure. Here's the truth. The people in your neighborhood who went to those good schools and do, as you say, totally different things from when they went to school for, they're afforded that sort of open-minded privilege because they had a good education. This
You
isn't
just
to
said
say,
the word privilege so hard.
privilege. This isn't to say that if you go to like a local state school or a city college, or you don't go to school, that you cannot go on to do anything. But I do think we strive to put ourselves in these institutions so that you have access and your eyes are open to the breadth of things you can be doing. And especially New York City, like you are in the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
With a full Asian friend group of tiger moms. I hate to tell you this. I don't think it's the worst thing to kind of at least prepare a little bit. Where do you think you want to go? Can you, and I know colleges, so maybe you can get a scholarship. Like it wouldn't be the worst thing to kind of lay out a plan. The thing is, you want to have a plan that you're not insecure about. So if they're like, our kids are going to Ivies and Ivy lookalikes, and you're like, well, my kid really likes University of Vermont. Like that's for him. As a mother, you know what your child needs. But I don't think it's the worst thing to sort of formulate some type of plan. Because if you don't have a plan at all, then it's like, I guess I'll just get in wherever. And then it kind of fucks up those 4 years. So it's not about having it be concrete and endless tutors. If your kid is making A's and B's and they're not trying to go to Harvard, there still are options. It might be that those people are just aiming for a very different goal than yours. But in a non-pressured way, you can kind of start to look at what are some, not say lower tier schools, but non-Ivies. I don't think it's the worst thing to use a little bit of that motivation. But like all of my friends that I went to school with, like a lot of them went to Ivies and Ivy lookalikes, and they're doctors or lawyers or high up in finance. And like, that was just never going to be me, but I still prepared. I still took SAT classes and tutoring, and I still went to do the best that I could so that I could end up in the right place for me.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit of preparedness goes a long way versus like, and you're saying college is expensive. It is. So maybe your time should be spent trying to figure out ways for them to go for free.
I think looking at being aware of this pressure that's going to be put on your kid by his friends and by these other moms, like opening that door that he doesn't have to go to an Ivy, but looking at those backups. Like when I think back, when I toured colleges, I toured UGA in Georgia, and I looked at NYU, BU, Emerson, like BC, like those were the only colleges I toured. When I applied, I only applied to UGA and UC Berkeley. And then I chose UGA because I was like, it's a good school for what I want to do. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was too expensive. It was like $50,000. And Georgia has the Hope Scholarship, or did.
Right. You have a scholarship. I toured at least 10 colleges all over the country. I applied to schools like Bard, Sarah Lawrence, Occidental, the Claremont College or whatever, Claremont McKenna, NYU, USC, anything else liberal. And I got into, drumroll please, none of them. And I ended up going to the University of Kansas because I got in, and Emerson rejected me the first time. Then I went to Emerson as a sophomore because eventually people, they fall out, they change their minds, whatever. A spot opened up. I got into Emerson. I went. I graduated early.
Same.
I went for film. Now I'm a stand-up comedian, and I make more money than anybody that I know.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
all
I
this
think
is to say
that having a plan isn't a bad idea, but it doesn't have to be the same plan as these other moms. Because I looked at all these colleges, and I said, it's too cold in New York and Boston. Because I went in February. I said, I can't do this.
Not a great essay. I didn't get a great SAT score. And I took ACTs, SAT2s, the tutoring. I did everything. Yeah. All right. So all this is to say what your child has a natural proclivity for, and like their creative center also means a lot. Because I had none of the access of the kids from NYU or USC, and I just made a film that went to Sundance. So there's that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but I did go through all of this because, you never know. And it would suck for your kid to have done none of the prep, and then they have no doors open. So
you want the biggest playing field possible. So prep for the test, even if they're stupid. Like do everything you can to get a leg up. Maybe right now he's not super interested in school stuff. Is he interested in a sport? Is he interested in debate? Is there an area where he can start kind of
just
defining
a direction.
himself? Yeah.
And it's not about that being your direction in life. It's about putting all of your focus into something because it creates who you are.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll say about that. And what's most important here is his emotional well-being and your relationship with him. And I don't judge those other moms. Like, that's okay that you pour everything into your kid and that's your job and that's being a good mom and you mother differently. And that's great too. Don't let him shake you.
Hi, AIA crew. Eliza, I think it's so cool you're learning to DJ. I need advice on a DJ for my wedding. I'm looking for a DJ that actually mixes music and not just a wedding DJ that plays songs like the Cupid Shuffle and Whitney Houston. No hate. Woof. I just want something a little more elevated and thought through than the norm. In the Twin Cities, if anyone here knows someone or can point me in the right direction, thanks. Now, Eliza, I think this is interesting for you. You don't have a specific DJ to recommend, but it was a thought when you were like interviewing DJs. So how did you go into that process to find your DJ?
I don't remember, but I will tell you my wedding planner found them. So if you have a wedding planner, they should be getting you, like, Les, you can also just Google like wedding DJ or DJs Minneapolis. They will have pages.
Meet with them, talk to them. We had coffee at Chibo with this wedding DJ to discuss your vision.
But also, like, you're like, here are my songs and like listen to their mixes. They will have their mixes on the website, or you can hire the DJ that we used for our fucking lit Sundance party. His name is DJ Cardi, Cardi. If you have the budget to fly this guy in, he is excellent.
There you go.
Shout out to DJ Cardi. Yeah.
But you talk to somebody because some DJs you'll see on their site, they're like, I do what I need to do. And it's like, no, yeah, feel the flow. But also,
by the way,
I do want to hear this song.
No, you want a wedding DJ. You do not want someone that's like, I do my own music. You want someone you're like, I need to hear these 15 songs and they're going to mix them. Nobody just like hits play and then start again. They're going to mix them. It's going to be fun. You want to do the person that like brings the party. You can watch videos. There will be reviews. Like there will be resources.
Yeah.
It's all about vibe. And then meet them.
For sure. Yes. Meet with them.
All right. Or if you want to go on our Patreon and put that out there, maybe somebody lives in Minneapolis.
Patreon, write in the general chat if you have a DJ rec. Dear Eliza, Emily et al. Quick question for Eliza. What do you do to keep pooping whilst traveling for work? I feel like every time I get on a plane, I get constipated until I come home, no matter how much water I drink, fiber I take, or yoga for pooping. I do. I just came back from a 10-day trip to India for a wedding. The day I got home, I unloaded literally 6 times in one day after only going twice the whole trip. Real and fake advice appreciated. Thanks, KT.
Well, that's India. And quite frankly, you're the only person that I've heard of that did not shit their pants while being there.
I don't understand. Do you think other podcasts get questions that are, I dumped out 6 times the day I got back? Eliza, help me out.
I will tell you, stress makes you not poop.
Yeah.
Travel makes you not poop. Yeah. I have found pomegranate juice. I haven't done it in a while because there's usually someone with like a fresh juice stand wherever you go. Pomegranate juice does it. Dates help. Miralax helps.
What about those gummy bears that people are like, I shit uncontrollably?
I can't imagine gelatin helping you.
It's fake sugar that does it.
I bought this, ironically, Indian, like, not psilocybin, that's mushrooms, psyllium, fiber, like husk. Psyllium husk. It looks like an oatmeal, like a Quaker Oats container, and you just dump it in. It gets kind of jelly-like. You just kind of down it. That's like the purest way to do it. Be mindful of eating fiber, broccoli, raspberries, things that are fibrous to just like keep it moving. Yeah. Tablespoon of olive oil never hurt anyone. And working out, particularly ab things. But sometimes the stress of travel can just lock it up.
The problem is I'll get stressed when I travel, so I'll just poop once and I'll clog a hotel toilet. Just if we're being really honest on this podcast.
Why do you like double flush? Why do you like let it all pile up? We all do, but like, why do you do that?
Because I never think it's going to be a problem.
You want to look and be
hotels, like, I feel like hotels should have stronger toilets.
Yeah, not the hotels you stay in. It's going to be like a
very
courtyard.
True. I'm staying in hotels with very low water pressure. They can't handle what I'm putting out there.
They can't handle what you're putting down. It's a low flow sitch.
Yeah.
Low situation.
I'll never forget being in a hotel and texting you and being like, should I use this bathtub? And it was like a Best Western. You're like, no, absolutely not.
Are you the one that like used a loofah in a hotel?
No, I
it's
would not.
It's Laura. It's a comic has a joke about like using a loofah. I was like, they don't leave those for you. So someone definitely forgot to pack their loofah.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, KT, for that question.
Those are my answers.
You answered it perfectly. Hi, Liza and Emily. I have a logistics question that I'm wondering if Iliza especially has any insight on. I am a stay-at-home mother in Connecticut to 3 toddlers. Yes,
oh my God.
I know. They are 3.5, 2, and almost 14 months.
Tell your husband to give you a break.
It is a long story, but we currently have 2 part-time nannies, each paid $32 an hour.
I got to write this down. I saw this one and I was like, I'll be good about this. You have 2 part-time nannies.
Yes, 2 part-time nannies, each paid $32 an hour. Shelly comes on Monday and Friday.
Okay. Shelly is Monday. Hold on.
Friday.
And Friday. Okay.
Rita comes on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday. Oh my God, Iliza. T. And Wednesday. Okay.
It's just me on Thursdays, though sometimes my mom comes and she's a huge help as well.
I thought you were saying, and she's a huge bitch. Okay. Thursday.
I am so sorry if this sounds like a math question. I promise it's not. I am trying to figure out what to do in terms of childcare and extra help beginning this summer. Money is not an issue. So.
Ooh, I love it.
I know.
That's why you have
can
so
go
many
hog
kids.
wild. Here's some more context. My older 2 children are going to be in preschool full time beginning this fall, 4 days a week. That means that 4 days a week, it'll be my baby son and me. And I'm not sure I require extra help all 4 of those days.
You do. If
Here's
you have
the
anything
nanny
else you want to
info.
accomplish, you do. Okay.
Shelly is 26 and European and wants to join us as a live-in nanny beginning in July, but with 35 hours a week, and we would likely need to secure a 3rd vehicle for her. This live-in position would be for 1 year only. She has very flexible hours beginning as early as 7:30 a.m. as long as we hit minimum 35 hours. Shelly's been with us for just under a year. I would say Shelly is satisfactory and checks all boxes for nannying. Rita is in her 40s and can only do Tuesdays and Wednesdays, though sometimes she can swing a Thursday, but she can't arrive until 9 a.m. We all need to be out the door by 8 a.m. So this has occasionally been an issue in the past. However, Rita is phenomenal and has been with us for 2 years. She goes above and beyond Shelly. What do I do? I also don't need all this extra help necessarily. I'm excited to have my baby home with me for 1 more year before he starts preschool too. But since we can afford it, I'd love to have an extra hand at least a couple days a week. Who do I choose? The live-in for 1 year who can start earlier but needs her own car, or the phenomenal one we've known longer and can give us the 2 days that I actually need? Let me know if you need more context, personality test scores, etc. Any advice is much appreciated. Thank you, Katie.
Well, so you're basically down to 1 nanny and you don't even know if you need that nanny, and you need the nanny random hours. You need the nanny randomly throughout the week because you'll have 1 baby at home and you're like, I don't even know when I'll need it.
It sounds like maybe it's having a nanny for like a couple days a week, and it could be the days Rita works just to have some extra help. So she knows like, oh, on Tuesday, Wednesday, I know I can go and get this done because she's here with the baby.
Either keep Rita for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
The Shelly thing, you don't need someone to live with you. I know money's not an issue. You're paying for their food. You're paying for the water that they use. That seems like a lot. And it's only not even 40 hours a week. 35 hours is not that many hours, especially for someone who's living with you.
Well, I wonder if it's they need to give her at least 35 and they don't usually have that much, or if she'll work max 35. But I think it seems to me it's Rita right now, unless you're like, we want to grow with Shelly and have Shelly be our nanny for the next 10 years. But it sounds like that's just a year. So it's Rita.
Yeah, it also feels like the deal with Shelly really benefits her more than you. And you're giving her a car. Who's paying for that insurance? It's just like another person in your house. You'll never feel fully alone. Like, I love having help, but like, it is nice when everyone's gone and it's like just us. It just doesn't, it seems like it's overkill to have Shelly. Yeah. That being said, I mean, you have 3 kids, so you definitely know your schedule and how babies work. Like, you might find that when you're just home with him, you really can't get anything else done. I just don't know if you need the live-in. So I think at first I was like, ooh, let's pick Shelly, but I think it benefits her more than you. So pick Rita and then
It's Rita, and look and see if you have like a babysitter who can flex if you needed something at 7 a.m. Or if that's Shelly, or if that just somebody who it's like, because it sounds like Rita covers the bases 90% of the time and you adore her.
the time thing is tough with Rita. Like, it sounds like she's really jamming it in with a bunch of other stuff. So you have to ask yourself what's more important, like those early morning hours that Shelly can do. Also, can Shelly just not live with you? Or just don't get her the car. Like, I just feel like
Shelly's just satisfactory, though. So it's like, you're trying to make yourself love Shelly because she's available. What about a third option here? Get Rita and look for a third option.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more about what are your priorities, which I don't know from this letter. Like, I don't know if the early morning thing is a priority. Is the priority flexibility? You're saying money's not an option. That's hard for me to imagine a world where, not an option, not an obstacle. I don't like the idea that someone's like living in my house and like doing not that much work and they get a car and they're not great at the job.
Because I would come to your house to work as your assistant and I would I'd just show up. I'd be like, I'm coming in at this time. And I'd always think like, it's so nice Liza lets me be here, because if I was her, I wouldn't want someone else in my home. I'd be like, stay out. Don't come in here. Go work out in the yard. Like, what are you doing in my space?
The kicker is Rita is inflexible. It's Tuesday and Wednesday. It's never before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So you can either adjust your schedule, and if that's of value to you. So I think it's all about, what are my priorities? Is it more important to me to have someone in the morning? If so, the answer is going to be Shelly.
Yeah.
But
we all like Rita.
Yeah. It's about your priorities.
We all love Rita so much.
Yeah, but you definitely do not keep both, because you don't need someone 5 days a week.
No. Hi, AA crew, all animals, babies, hot husbands, producers, etc. I haven't been a fan since Warpaint. Late, I know, but this is when I was gifted Eliza's Word. And Word has like a capital W, like it's down from on high.
From Jesus.
I actively and often recommend the shows, specials, movies, podcasts as often as I can. And sometimes
like, I have no friends, but I recommend it.
Sometimes I steal jokes from Iliza to use in conversation to make a point that I didn't come up with this. And you need to check out the person that did. When people use the phrase, I'm an elder millennial, it's always one of my favorite points of attack. Anyway. I'm obviously a millennial, 36, female, married for 3 years, but we've been together for almost 17. He's also 36. We met at university in 2009. It hasn't been easy, but we've stayed together because one thing keeps us inexplicably linked and drawn to each other. We are absolute ride or die best friends. We know we can't not be in each other's lives, and we think we've done a good job of growing up together. It would take weeks, if not months, to cover all the details, so I'm simply going to ask you this. How have you / do you / think you should move on from the terrible things you've done in your relationship and to your partner, or just as a person? I'm talking about the things he knows about that you fought about and are working through together. You've apologized over and over again, but the guilt weighs heavily on you. What advice would you give to someone trying to get over their own guilt? Obviously, it's me, LOL.
Did you cheat on him?
That's what it sounds like. I've always been a solid trust your gut person. And one of the reasons I resonate with you is that I feel like you either say what I've always been thinking or expand on and teach me something about how I felt. You're 1,000 times wiser than I am, obviously. But from the moment I heard what you had to say, it felt incredibly validating. But now I'm stuck wondering how someone like you deals with letting important people in your life down, because I'm trying to use every tool at my disposal. Common sense, education in psych, philosophy and social studies, actual education, not from Facebook or TikTok. How do you move on and deal with what you've done? So here's some context. We are both South Africans living in China. And after 9 years, 2026 being the 9th year, we are still not fluent because Chinese is difficult. It's really fucking hard. I was diagnosed as type 1 diabetic about 4 years ago when we spoke even less Chinese. As a then 32-year-old, adjusting to this new lifestyle was hard. My partner was incredibly supportive at first. He called the ambulance and conversed with the locals who didn't speak English for the entire 10 days I was in the hospital, 6 of which I was in a coma. He studied diabetes, treatments, control methods, insulin while I was comatose and catching up, and spent many days and nights helping me understand and figuring out where to go from there. We went back to South Africa to get married, see family, and assure my parents I wasn't going to die. And then we moved to Beijing, and he told me about the mental load everything had been and was taking on him. But I still made him take care of me in the worst ways by drinking too much and having to be either taken to the hospital or literally carried into bed, where he had to monitor me and try to wake me up when my blood sugar went too low. I took pills while drinking and fell so hard I broke my ribs, nose, and had to get stitches in my face. 2 separate occasions. I've taken a step back from drinking, but the guilt is still eating me alive, even though we're doing okay as a couple now. How do I move on apart from trying to be better every day?
I thought this was going to be a question about, because the beginning makes it sound like you're breaking up. Is he giving you a guilt trip, or do you just feel so bad every day?
I really get the feeling she feels so. She says they're best friends. They've grown together. They've worked through all this stuff, but this is just hanging over her that she's put him in this position of being her caretaker in a way.
Is he still your caretaker?
No, she's taken a step back from drinking.
Yeah, I would take a big step back from that. Look, like, all you have is today. Like, all you have right now is who you are today, and your love for him will be proven through your actions. And since he's not saying to you that he's leaving or that's the last straw, that's incredible, right? Because that sucks to have to prove that you love someone if they're like, I don't know, you got to show me. I think Noah and I have such an open, like, we communicate a lot. We talk about everything. And anytime I've been nervous about something, he's always been so kind about that. And the person you're with seems really patient, as you have to be if you're going to learn Chinese as an adult. I think you cannot be consumed by the guilt, because it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And you'll feel so bad that you'll drink or you'll do something even more fucked up. He is with you. And you guys that's a long time to be together. And you got together so young. So it's okay that you're growing and figuring this stuff out. If he is not giving you any reason to think that he's about to leave you, the good news is that you know you fucked up and you're not taking him for granted. I think expressing that you do not take him for granted and that he makes you want to be a better person, and that your commitment to him is that for yourself and for us, I'm going to do that every day in my actions. I think communicating that you are cognizant of that, and he'll say to you, I appreciate that, I love you, then you need to let it go. Because then what he's dealing with is still you living in your past and dealing with all that bullshit. He's just trying to, like, be married and live in China and have a great life with you. So at some point, you're also going to have to forgive yourself. You can never forget what you did, and you can use it as a reminder, but it's almost not fair to him. Like, now that it's not about me mentally and medically, well, now it's about me spiritually and emotionally. Like, you got to give it a rest. That's what I would say, is to communicate with him always that you are doing better every day. That's what I would do.
Yes, I think he's shown you that he will tell you when it's become too much. He told you that it was too much. So you have to trust that he's an adult who can make choices for himself. And you, as an adult, you can only prove it through your actions.
That's right. And time will tell. You know, you might get to a place where it's like, yeah, you've been on your best behavior, but it's not enough for him. Like, people change, relationships change. There might be a mechanism to when you were sick that he liked you, not better, but there was a different side of you, and then it was easier and he was the caretaker, and then it became too much, but now he misses it. We don't know. For yourself, it is important that every day you just try to be a little bit better and stay consistent. That's all you can control. And you can't even control the way he feels about it, but you're going to have to. It's a little self-indulgent. And I know you don't mean to constantly be like, I feel so bad because my feelings, me. You said it's okay. I still feel bad. Now, can you make me feel better about me feeling bad about not being good to you? Like, it's just too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're allowed to do better. Like, you're allowed to be like, I'm putting that behind me and every day I'm going to get better. And you're allowed to work on it and be imperfect. And it sounds like he's right there with you. Don't keep anything to yourself.
Top of the cob.
Top of the cob. Okay.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
Okay, we will start with bottom. And this one made me laugh. Someone wrote in on Patreon, someone's off-leash puppy followed me and my dog at the park. I was so mad at the owner telling me, chill, it's fine, when I asked him to get his dog, which that makes me mad. But then this person continues, I realized later I should have just picked up the puppy and kept walking. He wanted to be with us anyway. And the idea of if someone's off-leash dog comes at you and you just like pick it up and walk off, like, all right, well, you didn't have a leash on him.
Finders keepers, and it's a puppy.
Yeah. My bottom is, I wrote it down. This is the epitome of just, it happens. When you get an eyelash and it's like buried in there and you can't see it, but you can feel it. And it just, you're like, and you're making it redder and you're making it worse. And you're like, I can't make this better, but I can't stop touching it. I have to keep touching.
I have to keep touching.
I have to keep touching. What's yours?
My bottom of the cob is the absolute third world traffic rat king tail knot that is JFK Airport.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever. I have no memory of like ever flying in there. I think I always fly into Newark. Just getting there was like apocalyptic traffic. And then when I landed there and I was leaving, people are just putting their, because it's an international terminal. It's an international airport. And it's not like LAX, which is also based on a blind child's drawing contest where Tom Bradley, at least all international flights are coming in there. At JFK, I'm leaving. I came in from Fort Lauderdale and I'm passing like Tel Aviv, Bogota, like Venezuela, like all these. And each terminal it was like a Simpsons episode. Like each gate had people who looked like it was all like Hasidic Jews going to Tel Aviv. It was all people in like colorful shirts going to Chile. Like everything. It was like every stereotype of everything was going to each one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I walking by all of these flights departing to international places? I'm just trying to, and I'm like on a regional flight from Florida. And you get out there and like you have to like negotiate your car. People are just leaving their cars 3 lanes out, no order. It was like a open air market in Delhi. Like it was wild.
Stressful.
And what the fuck are we doing, New York? And the traffic going through Queens to get there was just epic. Miles and miles out. So you miss me with that airport forever. Woof.
Okay, top of the cob from
right.
a listener. Blaring your music while your partner and child aren't home and cleaning to nostalgic hits. Is there more dancing than cleaning? More than likely.
Oh, you just put on some Pretty Ricky and you just grind on that furniture.
My top of the cob is I started doing my podcast again this week, and it felt really good to write it, like my notes, and then edit it, and I created like a little image for it. Like it felt good to be back in that process because I've talked on this show about how I want to be creative again in a different way, and I was like, this is a good bit. I haven't done it for a year, so I was like, it felt good. I got the audio file uploaded like this morning, and I'm like, okay, I did it. So now I just have to keep doing it. It feels, I love that. That's nice.
I know you were wanting to get back into that.
Yeah, so I did.
I do love that.
What's your top?
Well, I guess I could save it. I'm just gonna do it.
Okay, yeah, your secret.
I'm starting a newsletter.
Oh no. Substack?
I'm starting a newsletter, Emily. And you can't say, oh no. I'm not doing this. I'm not telling you.
No, I meant, oh no, because like.
No, I'm not telling you. You don't deserve it.
No, please tell me. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not going to tell you. You're not ready for it. And you know what? Now the rest of the class doesn't get it. No,
please.
My top of the cob's going to be like mascara or something.
No, please. I want to know about your newsletter.
It's so fucking cool.
I know. I used to love I was the #1 fan of your Tumblr.
I did have a good Tumblr.
You had a really good Tumblr.
I am starting. It is a micro newsletter. It is 1 page and it is dedicated to the stillness and beauty and fun that is a Sunday morning. So readers will get, maybe like on a Friday night, this delivered to your inbox. In my perfect world, it's actual paper in your mailbox, and it is a static. It's almost like a PDF. And it will have a little micro essay by me about like a certain theme. There will be a curated playlist by me, a recipe or for like a light breakfast item or a fun coffee with a picture and a little product link to something that I use to have a slow Sunday. and it's called Slow Sunday. And it is all the joy of looking at an Instagram post with none of the doom scrolling. And you can use the playlist. You can have your theme Sunday. You can borrow mine. It's just a nice little easy thing to read that has nothing to do with the Straits of Hormuz.
Did you like, are you laying out the news? Like, did you create like a little layout, like a little InDesign layout
Do you
or
wanna
whatever you're
see it?
dropping
Can I
stuff
show it
into?
on here?
Yeah. Well, do you
How do I
want to
share
do
my
it?
screen?
No, you can't hear.
All right, hold on. Hold on. I'm going to show you here just so you see it.
Okay.
I have it laid out. I'm going to do it every week. It is something I committed to. I've been working on this for a very long time. I will have friends lend their playlists or their recipes or their pictures. Slow Sunday.
Okay.
It's like a little newspaper, and there's a recipe for a fun coffee, and there's a link to a product, and there's a playlist, and it's just a little micro essay by me. And it's all the joy of a Substack with none of the hassle. Comes to your inbox.
That's nice. Is there a place is there a place we can sign up for it?
We're going to have all of that. I was just showing you the prototype. It's going to launch on Mother's Day weekend, and it is going to be free. And eventually it will be like a paid thing, but it's just my way of curating a community, much like our Patreon, of just people who just want to look at nice things and have a nice time. Tired of the rat race.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why do I tell you anything? This was such a mistake.
I'm happy for you. I'm going to sign up. I like when you share your little coffees in Patreon.
It's going to be big. You'll see.